So when you factor, the very first thing you look for, GCF. If there's not one, x squared, 3x, 2 have nothing in common, go right into 2 parentheses. Whatever you put first has to multiply to get x squared. So I just break x squared in half, x and x. Then we need factors of 2 that add to get 3. Plus 2 plus 1. In number 2, when you notice, 2, 6, and 10 all have a GCF of 2. So I'm going to divide each factor by 2 and write what is left over. Now, we look to see if it can be factored again, but we don't have any factors of 5 that subtract to get 3, so then you're done. There is not a GCF here, so I go right into 2 parentheses, x and x. Then we need factors of 42 that subtract to get 11. So anytime you don't know what those are, I write all the factors down. I start with 1, 1 in 42. 2 goes into 42, 21 times. 3 goes into 42, 14 times, 6 and 7. So there's only one set of factors of 42 that subtract to get 11, 3, and 14. So then subtract 14, add 3 to get negative 11. Check for GCF, no GCF. X and
Reminder
X.
staff that there is a meeting in the auditorium at 3 o'clock. Meeting in the auditorium at 3 o'clock. Thank you.
Factors of 24. That add to get 14. So see, if you don't know, just write all your factors out. There's only going to be one set that works. All right. Minus 2, minus 12, because when you multiply negative 2, negative 12, you get a positive 24. But when you add negative 2, negative 12, you get a negative 14. All right. There's not a GCF, but there's also not a middle term. That means everything's got to match except for the sign, because they have to multiply to get negative 16, but they have to add together to get 0. Positive 4x, negative 4x cancel out. That's why there is not an x in the middle. All right, now we need factors of 24 that add to get 10, negative 6, negative 4. No GCF, split apart your x. Factors of 20 that subtract to get, remember that's a 1 there. So plus 5 minus 4. If all else fails, remember, just write out your factors. There's only going to be one set that works. Split apart your x, x and x, plus 8, plus 5. This one doesn't work, so I'm changing this to an 8. I must have had a typo when I typed it. So which ones subtract to get 8? X and x, plus 10, minus 2. Remember, you always want to match the middle one when they're opposite. You match the middle sign to the biggest number. X and x, factors of 30, subtract to get 7. A lot of times it's helpful to put the numbers in before you do the signs, because then you can match the signs as your very last step. -7 goes with the 10 plus 3. G, C, F. They all have a factor of 2. So divide everything by 2 first. Then I can factor x squared again. X and x, factors of 32 that subtract to get 4. -8 plus 4. No GCF, split apart x squared, factors of 12 that add to get 13. Which factors of 36 add to get 15 plus 3 plus 12. When you factor out the GCF, remember you're just dividing everything by the GCF and it goes out front. If you're left with x squared, check to see if you can factor it again. X and x, what makes 1? 1 and 1, plus and minus. So anytime this is a perfect square, you're just putting the square root here, 1 plus, 1 minus. Notice both of these, perfect square. There's no GCF. Everything has to be exactly the same. One's a plus, one's a minus. Because look what happens. Positive 10x, negative 10x to get 0. Factors of 48, add to get 16. Now to get a -16, -4, -12. Get a positive 10 plus 14 minus 4. Always check again. X and X. The only time you can do this with 2 is if this is a perfect square, plus 5, minus 5. All right, this is the tougher section. The only way to get 2x squared, 2x and x, this is where I use the brackets underneath. Now, these numbers here, after I plug some numbers in here, have to subtract to get -21x. Okay? I'm gonna use 3 and 12. So I'm gonna put 12 here times 2, 24x, 2 here to get 2x. Nope, 3, sorry. Now to get a negative 21, the 24 has to be minus and the 3 is a plus. Move the plus up here, the minus goes up here. So what do we multiply together to get 6x squared? Either 1 and 6 or 2 and 3. I'm going to tell you it's going to be 1 and 6. If you want to stop the video and try again, I'll also say for 20, use 4 and 5. Maybe pause the video, see if you can get it to work. Your goal is to get these to match. There's only one way to get 5x squared. 5x times x. If you're still not getting this, pick either 1 and 8 or 2 and 4, plug them in. Multiply to see what works. Pause the video, try it out. If one doesn't work, switch it. Because this will be 4x and this is 10x. I need to have a positive 6, so my 10 is positive, minus 4 to get positive 6x. So this minus we move up here, this plus we move over here. I'll give you a hint. You need to start with 4x and x. And I need to get up to 17x. 4 and 1, 1x, 16 makes 17. You can only use 1 and 7. Put them somewhere. Try it, see if it works. I need to subtract to get negative 9. Six times 2 is our 12x squared. So 18 minus 2 is 16. Have a positive 16, 18 is negative, or positive, 2 is negative. Remember, if you use your signs here, this one just moves up top and this one goes up over here. This time we're adding, so they both need to be negative to get negative 26. Last two. So sometimes it's helpful just to write each one out. 1 and 6, 2 and 3, 1 and 10, 2 and 5.